because you put out a tweet that was kind of spicy. A little spicy the other day. The other day, JB, you put out a tweet about Project 2025. You got a little pushback from that, but we're gonna pull it up right now and we're gonna let you talk about it. Because I'm not gonna say whether I agree or disagree, but I'm gonna show everybody what you put up, and I'm gonna let you talk about what you meant by that.
Sure.
Because that's it. I'm not gonna say whether or not I agree yet, but it was spicy. He said, all right, I'm gonna say it. Project 2025 is a lucrative fundraising tool for the Democratic and Republican parties. It gets you scared, so you donate more money to the Dems, and it gets you the ultra-right conservatives hyped to think the GOP will carry this out. In the end, corporations win. What do you mean by that, man? Because there's a lot of people that have been scared out of their minds about Project 2025. So why do you feel like it is merely a fundraising tool? And why do you feel like people are maybe blowing this up and making it something that it actually isn't, only to the benefit of Democratic Party, the Republican Party, and obviously corporations?
Well, it's interesting you brought this out. Me and Savvy are going to be going over this on RBN later this evening at 5 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to be going over it line by line as much as we can, because who has time to go over 900 pages?
Yeah, it's a book. Yeah, it's a whole book.
Yeah, it's a novel, okay? But one of the things that, and everything I've been hearing about Project 2025, the question that keeps coming up in my head is, what is different from this project than what the conservatives have been trying to do for the last 50 years?
That's the question. And people actually don't explain what you mean by that, because I don't want to spoil it for you, because I know you got your show, okay, but give people a little teaser about what you mean by that, because as somebody who's done some research on Project 2025, one of the reasons I got a bad habit of this, whenever I just look at something, I'm like, okay, this is bullshit. I just will forget to talk about it, because I'm like, I can't believe people are actually taking this seriously. It's something we already knew about, but people do take this stuff seriously, and I've been hearing more and more about it. So give people a teaser about what do you mean by how is it different than what we've already seen from neocons in the Republican Party?
They want to privatize education. Same song, different dance. They want to privatize healthcare. Same song, different dance. They want to they want to avert the climate disaster by keeping the hands and the fossil fuel companies. Same song, different dance. They want to cut funding for social programs. Same song, different dance. They want to.
Hold on, now I gotta correct you. You giving these Republicans a lot of credit by saying they got all these dances. I don't believe that. I don't really support that. I don't believe that dancing is any part of 2025. I ain't gonna cap, but maybe the same song, different two-step. We go a little two-step. I don't know if they dance. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
You know,
it's a lot. It's a lot of the same. And then we have to remember that the origins of, and they boast about this on the website, the origins of Project 2025 is the Heritage Foundation, right? The Heritage Foundation in Project 2025, at least the ideas of Project 2025, they originated in like 1974. And it started with the Reagan administration. So it's not like any of this stuff is new. It's just that it seems to me, like you said, that these organizations like the Heritage Foundation, the Lincoln Project, people tend to believe that they're partisan because of what they might say in one election cycle or another. But in the reality, we know, like, Hillary Clinton damn near is more conservative than any neocon you know. And you got people like maybe Thomas Massey, or in one aspect, in a more positive aspect, he's a little bit more leftist or independent or populist. But then you got Mitch McConnell, who will push as much neoliberal policies as you would expect Obama to push. And at the end of the day, there's really no difference between the two.
You know what? All this is a rebranding of the boogeyman. That's all it is. Let's be real.
What do you mean by that?
Because the thing is that they're always saying, oh my God, the Republicans are going to do this. And it's like, motherfucker, they've been doing that for the longest time. What the hell are you talking about? Like, It's like, It's like that dog's gonna come and bite you. We been do that. We been do
like,
that.
hey, you know, pit bulls are strong, right, man? You should, yeah, no, like, well, no, actually, that's a good example because people always say pit bulls are strong and they'll bite you if they get mad. And I always say, well, yeah, but that's only if you make them mad and it's not well trained, right? In other words, they do what you allow them to do, or they do what the owner allows them to do. That is no different than the Republican or the Democrat Party. We already know it's pit bull. How that pit bull acts is up to you. If you hold that pit bull accountable, whichever party that may be, that's actually up to you. And what happens is when you allow the fear mongering, like you, because people fear mongered pit bulls in the state of Florida, especially and specifically Miami, to the point where pit bulls were not allowed in Miami for a long time. It was actually illegal. Actually, I think the law is still a thing. It's just, you know, they don't really care. Everybody gonna have their pit bulls, especially the hood. So you can't really get rid of them. But people were making that argument, right? But it's not the pit bull that's inherently the problem. It's the owners of the pit bull. So it's not like political parties. The idea of a political party is not the problem. The idea of a nonprofit is not the problem. The problem is that we allow Heritage Foundation, Lincoln Project, and the people that back these organizations to convince you that one party is inherently better than the other. And what we're trying to tell you is, no, that's not the truth. It's both parties. They're both shit. They're both trash.
Yeah. I'm going to make this point later, but to me, this is a diversion technique, right? And what I mean by a diversion technique, it is a way to, it's like a military action. It's a military tactic. When if you want the other army to go in a specific direction, you put some of your forces behind them to make it look like they're behind them and then they're going to attack. And so the army goes into the completely different direction, but your other forces are already over there.
Yeah, colon. It's called colon.
Yeah. So that's basically what the Democratic Party is doing. Because people don't think about this, but the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are workmates. It is the same thing when you got a Pizza Hut and a KFC in the same building and they're owned by the same company. It's Yum Brands. Why in the world are we continuously going, well, I don't like Pizza Hut, so I'm going over to KFC, and then you do it 2 steps over and you go talk to the same person that's behind the counter. That's
no. It's like saying, it's more like saying, like, you know, especially if you got black parents, you probably know, like, black people specifically will have specific locations of restaurants that we will not go to. Once they mess up your fries one time, or that you got a cold burger one time, like my mom got this thing with a Wendy's that she just will not ever go back. To this day, she still talks about it. And it's like you said, where in South Florida, they got KFC, Taco Bell, right? It's like, I'm so tired of messing up my food at this KFC, but then I spin the block and go right back to the Taco Bell like it ain't the same people making the same food. And this, oh, by the way, and that's a true story. I didn't say that, but my friend did that. He literally was like, I'm so tired of messing up my food, bro. Then one day we was about to go out to the club. He's like, I'm going to get something to eat. He shows up with Taco Bell. Now, I know that the owner of the Taco Bell that's close by is the one by my apartment with the KFC. I said, hold on, I thought you just said you don't like that place. He's like, no, I said I don't like the KFC. I said, no, you said you don't like the fact that restaurant keeps messing up your food. You do know the same people that make the KFC are the same people that make your order for Taco Bell, right? He's like, damn, bro, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think about it. But that's basically what it is. Yeah. And it's, what do you think about this idea that you've seen pitched on the internet? I've seen it over and over and over again, that somehow Project 2025 is specifically targeting Black people. Where is that idea coming from?
Nigga, when have they never targeted Black people?
Yeah, well, I mean, but the way it's being pitched is that it's unique.
Bro, we've been targeted for 400 years. That ain't nothing new.
Yeah, of course. But the difference is we're being told that we're being targeted in a unique fashion with Project 2025. And I'm trying to understand, because I'm not joking, I've actually been trying to understand where that has come from. Even D.L. Hughley, in the clip that we'll watch in a little bit, he even said that Project 2025, they're targeting Black people. And I'm like, hold up. Why do y'all keep jumping to Project 2025? They're targeting Black people. There's not really any difference when it comes to neoliberal policies and neocon policies or Republican and Democrat policies, if you've actually dug into the weeds of these policies and look at the outcome, Black people are always, if we're not the targets, we're the bystanders, we're the collateral damage. It's either they don't care or we're directly targeted, but there's not really any difference because you get the same result. So I'm curious, have you seen anything in your reading that leads you to believe that Black people should be uniquely fearful for Project 2025 in a way that somehow leads them to believe that the Democrats could prevent that from happening?
No.
You sure?
Yeah.
No, I'm because people want. I'm genuinely curious, bro. I want to know because people have been saying that.
I mean, what? That they want to get rid of critical race theory? That they don't want people to actually learn about the actual history of what's been happening to us in regards to chattel slavery, redlining, black codes, and all that, and Jim Crow?
That's already a thing.
They've been wanting to cover up that history for a longest time. Like that's, to me, it's like, show me something new. I'm like, show me something new that they have been, that they're trying to do. And for me, I'm like, look, I'll put it this way. It's like Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. What's the difference between The Force Awakens and A New Hope?
Don't do that.
I see the same story. So when people are like, oh, well, they're going to target Black people.
Rey fine. That's the difference. Rey is fine as hell. I'll give them that. They picked the right actress. Just put her in the wrong damn movie because that Star Wars franchise is trash. But other than that, yeah, you're right. It's the same story.
I'm not a fan of the sequel trilogy, by the way. Just letting you know. But
yeah, well, technically, it would be the is it sequel?
No, it's the sequel trilogy.
It'll be the third sequel. Is it the third? Is a third the sequel still? Because technically, it's the third trilogy.
Original trilogy, and the sequel trilogy.
Ah, you're right. You're right. Them damn words, boy. They mean things. He's correct. But but ironically, you are correct. It basically, the story is so similar, but the differences are actually just, they're either non-existent or they're like, this difference doesn't even make any sense. Like it's not an actual difference. Bro. It's not a substantive difference. There you go. That's what I'm looking
it's cosmetic.
For.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, what they all they did was they took all their plans and they put it in a book, and now people are like, oh my god, they put it in a book. They put all their plans in a book. Oh my god, look at it. They got plans. They got plans. Meanwhile, these plans been in their works for 50 years. Yeah. And my thing is like, what have and here's the question. These plans that we have seen, the Democrats have seen for forever. What have they done to avert us from this crisis materially? I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about just in. I'm not talking about in culture. I'm not talking about just socially. I'm talking about material conditions to truly avert us from this disaster. Because last time I checked, in 2023, it was reported that the homelessness rate jumped 12% while Biden was in office. Who, by the way, Niko, I know you know this answer. Who had control of the executive branch, the House, and the Senate in 2008? Who had it for 2 years?
Hey, filibuster proof. Don't forget that part. That's the key. Filibuster proof Senate. Now, you talking about 2008, boy? Two years ago they had the House and the Senate. Like, right, we're gonna talk about this too, about AOC,
parliamentarian, right?
Impeachment.
Parliamentarian. Look,
they keep doing this game. They keep playing this game. Go ahead.
You should blame the Democrats for Project 2025. I'm saying it. Blame them because they're the ones that allowed it to happen. Because I'll put it to you like this, and I'm going to use this example later. Let's say you have two parents, and the dad is abusing the kids in the household. He's physically like harming them. You see the kids coming with bruises and busted lips. And the mom, what she does is whenever the kids act up, when they're not really acting up, what happens is she'll go, well, if you don't act right, your father's going to come home, even though they're not really doing anything wrong. Or what will happen is when they do something slightly wrong that doesn't really warrant their father knowing, she'll go and tell their father, and then he'll beat them to a pulp. And then, so my question is, are you going to try to keep the kids with the mom, or keep the kids with the dad, or take the kids out of the house?
Take them to grandma crib. Basically.
The thing is that everybody says, "Oh, don't take them to grandma because you're going to be giving them to dad." No, you're not. You're giving them to grandma, because the thing is, grandma is the Democrat. I'm sorry, mom is the Republicans. I'm sorry, the Democrats, and dad is the Republicans. Well, get them out of the house, because the thing is that one is the abuser, but one is putting us in child endangerment. The Democrats are literally putting us in civilian endangerment.
Well, it's abuse too. That's abuse too, right? That's abuse. It's a different type of abuse.
It is.
But it's emotional abuse, and you are an accessory to abuse. So it's not any different. It's just like, is there really a difference between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein? Not really. One set him up and the other one hit it home. Like, one set up the pins, the other one knocked him down. I don't know. What's the difference? The network could not exist without the other. I was just explaining this to my wife. So I said the worst thing you can be in the States, here they don't really have that big of as big of a problem. And I was asking because I wanted to know if they had words or phrases to describe what we would call Uncle Tom's, shucking and jiving, words like that. And she was like, no, actually, no, because they don't really have that issue here because of how proud Black people here are. Very, very proud to be Black. It isn't superficial. It is like they got their, I mean, they're kind of like us, but they got their own way to speak, their own dances. They're celebrated, right? They don't get their culture robbed and then pretend like it didn't happen. So they're very prideful. And I asked her, like, do y'all have this problem? She's like, no. I was like, so what happens if a Black person decided to vote for Bolsonaro? And it's like that Black person would likely give reasons that only have to do with finances. It wouldn't actually have anything to do with race. I was like, well, okay, I guess that would kind of make sense. So I explained to her, like, so they do have teams here, obviously. But I was like, in the US, you can be Black and you can pick a team. And yeah, you'll get berated by one side or you get berated by the other side. And the system is okay with that, right? You won't get berated as much as you think you would. I said, but don't be the Black person, or especially if you're famous, that says, nah, both sides treat Black people like shit. Because then you will be treated like a leper. And she was like, what? Why would they? Why? I said, because the way that the system can exist in its current form, the only way, is if you play for a team. Because most of these people get elected, raise money, stay in power, et cetera, is because they are telling you the other team is worse. Not that necessarily my team is better, just that the other team is worse. And when you look at this Project 2025, it's very reminiscent of the Lincoln Project. Yeah. But what Project 2025, once again, y'all, the Heritage Foundation, you hear how all these celebrities all of a sudden started talking about the Heritage Foundation? This is why I don't like, boy, you know that Drake line, bench players talking like starters, I hate it. That's how I feel every time a celebrity decides they want to open their mouth about politics. Because they're talking like they know what they're talking about. They're talking like they're analysts. But the Heritage Foundation, I've talked about the Heritage Foundation before regarding Reagan. And I almost forgot that I talked about the Heritage. I was like, oh shit, this is the same Heritage Foundation? Why are they talking about this now? Why are these Black people talking about this now? Why do they think this is unique? Talking about, for example, getting rid of the Department of Education. Like, they're like, oh, they want to get rid of the Department of Education. First of all, that was an idea that Trump floated the first time. That's an idea that libertarians have floated forever. Neocons and libertarians together have talked about getting rid of the Department of Education. But then what happens is you have some of these Black celebrities, they'll try to spin it, right? And they'll say, that's specifically who do you think that harms most? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to break this to y'all. If you want me to be completely and objectively honest about the Department of Education, that shit ain't for Black people. That don't help us. It conditions us. It set the stage for poor Black schools to be in the position that they're in, where they're not receiving the right amount of funding, where they're not getting the help that they need, when the hours are not being put in to help those kids catch up and become literate, become strong performers on these standardized tests that people are forcing them to take, et cetera, et cetera. Don't act like that the Department of Education has done Black people any favors. So it's like you're lying. You're lying on two fronts. You're acting like this has not always been part of the neoconservative agenda, But on top of that, you're acting like these government institutions actually have benefited black people.
Let me also add to this. They want to get rid of affirmative action. Oh, so they want to hurt white women, huh?
Yeah, exactly right. What? So white women? Damn, that's crazy.
Because that's
the white women gonna be mad as hell.
Benefits most from it. Affirmative action benefits white women most. Oh, they want to get rid of SNAP benefits. Oh, so they're gonna screw over the poor whites, huh?
Yeah, like poor white people about to be mad as people don't know, bro.
The poor whites are gonna be madder than a mug because guess what? That's who is the person that's who's gonna get hurt the most. And the thing is like I put it this way: the Democrats manipulate black people just like the Republicans manipulate the poor and working class white people.
Mm-hmm. But look, if you're a black person and you want to be a Republican, you can get paid. So, they manipulate the white people, the poor white people. But boy, don't be a black Republican, boy. You can stack up bread hella fast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, look. Hey, you want to get rich quick? Be a black Republican.
I'm broke because I don't do both either party, but
exactly right. Look, my Republican friend told me before we move on to the next subject. He was straight up, bro. He said, "Hey, man, I know you got your morals and like I respect your integrity, but like you ever just think about for like maybe one election cycle, just flip it on them because you know how to sell. Because like for example, you know how we are because you RBN. I'm a Second Amendment absolutist. I believe that we don't take that Second Amendment seriously enough. I'm like, we need black people trained in all arms. If I want to own a tank, if I want to own a bazooka in the back, I need to be able to own every weapon that the U.S. military has. Because if I got to fight them from threats, to protect myself from threats, both foreign and domestic, I need to be able to match them bullet for bullet. Okay? So he's like, he said, you are able to sell conservative policies better than conservatives. I was like, well, it's because a lot of the things that y'all advocate for, y'all only sell them as like benefiting conservatives, but some things that are actually got ended. The reason that you're having to fight so hard for gun rights at this moment, like in places like California, is because they want to take them from us, not y'all.